The Chicago PD can use fake social media profiles to spy on you with the FBI's help. Also, this desk, it's made of desk. Just thought you should know since I'm here stating the obvious, because for some reason this story was kind of popular, as if it's something new, but it's not. Not at all. This has been going on for as long as there has been social media, and hell, even before social media was a thing. Let me tell you, back in my day, there was a show that would come on Dateline called To Catch a Predator, starring Chris Hansen, a show that premiered in November of 2004. Probably before some of you were even born. And the whole premise of the show was Dateline would rent out a house somewhere in a suburban neighborhood, just like where you might live, and hire a company of people that would spend all day in AOL chat rooms pretending to be little kids, like a 13-year-old boy or a 12-year-old girl, and lure predators to the house. And I think that they actually didn't arrest them in the first season. Like, Chris Hansen would just kind of wag his finger and say, "Stop trying to touch little kids," and then he would send the chomos on their way. But all seasons after that, they would then have the local police from whatever city they're in be hidden all around the house. And then after Chris Hansen was done interviewing and exposing them, getting footage for the show, then the pedos would go out some back door. Chris Hansen would say, "Oh, you're free to go." They go out into a back room, and then immediately 3 or 4 cops swarm on them and they get arrested. Bait Car is another one of these crime shows where the police are actually more involved. They're pretty much running the whole show, and then there's just a camera crew there that's filming them, and then it gets uploaded to True TV or something like that. But here, the cops plant a kind of a nice car in a bad neighborhood. A car that just looks nicer than the other cars that are around it. And they leave it unlocked, and they might do some other things to really try and entice people to take it. Like, they'll leave a laptop or maybe a purse just on the seat of the car. So it's like, okay, if somebody sees us, they're thinking free car and a free purse. Keys might be left in the ignition. They really want this car to get stolen. They make it super obvious. And of course, eventually, nature takes its course. Somebody from this bad neighborhood goes, they steal the car, and the cops are just waiting right around the corner. And they'll chase the person for a little bit to make the show a bit more interesting. And then they'll just cut off the engine because they have it wired up to a remote control. They can cut the engine and they can lock the person in anytime they want. Then they walk up to the car and they arrest the car thief. Cops go undercover and do sting operations all the time to, quote unquote, stop crime. Like this goofy cop here that went undercover, like, "Yeah, dude, this guy doesn't look suspicious at all. This doesn't look like a cop." And I think he was trying to buy like $10 worth of weed, or flower buds, I think is what the guy that was selling it to him called it. Because he actually knew that it was a sting. That's the whole reason this video exists. And apparently he just gave this guy, the undercover cop, actual flower buds. So, outstanding move. But then the other goofballs had to roll up and draw guns on the guy like he's Al Capone. But since there's so many knuckleheads out there that want to do crime, and they want to do crime on social media, the cops have started going undercover there too to fight crime so that they can meet their quotas. And it's even easier for them to go undercover on social media because 95% of a conversation is body language, vocal tonality, it's how a person's face looks when they talk to you, it's whether or not they have that vibe. Like this cop that we saw in the video where the guy knew that he was undercover, he doesn't have that vibe, okay? He has a cop vibe. So if he's trying to buy drugs from you, okay, I'm not going to sell to this guy. You can read people when you're face to face, maybe, if you're able to pick up on those social cues. But if you're doing stuff over text or hell, even a phone call, it's gonna be really hard to sniff out an op. So this paper, which gives us some detail about the Chicago PD's SOMEX policy, which stands for social media exploitation, it basically outlines their operational guidelines. They're going to have teams of no less than 8 members working on a full-time basis, and of course, they're working with the FBI as well. So not only are cops undercover on social media, but they're getting more sophisticated. They're getting better at this. They're clearly investing in this because, well, it's hitting those quotas. They're actually able to nab more knuckleheads than when they send this guy out wearing a baseball cap and a hoodie at the same time, sitting in a car trying to buy $10 worth of weed. They're able to find these knuckleheads when they go on social media. And apparently they're also using AI-generated faces. That's something that some of the news articles make a big deal about. But that kind of tech has been around for years now. If you've never seen thispersondoesnotexist.com, go ahead and check it out. These are not real people. This girl that you're looking at, this is not a real girl. An AI made this. Same thing with this girl, AI made that. She kind of seems a little bit cross-eyed. So it messes up sometimes, but most of the time it's very difficult to tell. Like, yeah, nothing really looks off with this person. And even if something is a little bit off with one of them, like, no, this guy doesn't quite look off either. But if this was shrunk down to like a profile picture, like with this one, it kind of seems like there's a little bit of weirdness going on. Like the earring doesn't quite look right. But you shrink this down to a profile picture, there's no way you're going to tell that this is an AI-generated person. You might think that they're real. And I don't know if this is necessarily the same application that the Chicago cops are using. It's just to point out that this tech already exists, and this is pretty old tech. This has been around for years. So this should go without saying, but don't discuss illegal activities on social media. Don't do it on Facebook, don't do it on Instagram or Snapchat. But Kenny, I thought Snapchat messages disappear. Not off their servers, they don't. This needs to be more well known so that if anybody is talking reckless on social media, immediately they are suspected of being a cop. All my homies are on Signal and Session. Don't try to ask me about buying some Linux distros. I don't care if you want an ounce of Debian or just a tiny little hit of Linux Mint. I have no idea what you're talking about, and you sound like a cop. But you know what is safe to share on social media? This video. So do it now. Share this video with the last person who tried talking reckless to you on a spook app, assuming that you even are using spook apps in the first place. And also leave a like and comment on this video to hack the algorithm. Have a great day. Hey guys, post-editing Kenny here. For some reason, YouTube's bots decided to demonetize this video or make it run limited monetization. No idea why. I even tried uploading this with a different title and a different description, and I even went back and edited the part where the cops were drawing guns on the guy, because that's the only part of this video that seems like it would be bad for advertising or whatever. But they still demonetized it, so instead of waiting a week for an actual person at YouTube to review this video and probably just side with the bot anyway, I'm going to go ahead and make it public now so that you guys have something to watch. And hey, you probably won't have any ads on it either, or at least limited ads. But if you've got some crypto laying around, I'd really appreciate it if you donated Monero or Bitcoin, but ideally Monero. Thanks in advance, and the video is over for real now. Have a great day.